Hey, this is Joe McCord. I play football for Alcoa, and I've committed to play at Yale. You're listening to the No Playbook Podcast.
Hey, thanks for checking out the show. It's the podcast where we talk with the outstanding athletes, coaches, and experts that help to make sports and fitness such an important part of life in the Southeast. The D1 training facility in Blount County, just a little over a month away from opening. Really excited to get to working with all the teams down in that area. We're already working with a few teams offering training for William Blount Soccer, Maryville's girls basketball team. So if you're from that area, you want to learn more about D1, just reach out via social media. You can follow us at D1 Blount. Now, my guest today on the podcast, Joe McCord. He plays football at Alcoa, has committed to play at Yale. Actually, believe it or not, my second guest this season that is going to play football next season in the Ivy League. And Cooper Cameron, earlier this year, he was on a few months ago from Webb, going to Cornell next year. It's a great chat with Joe. He's a good kid. Got that coming up right after this. Sit tight.
Recruit Me puts the recruiting process in your hands. Most student athletes wait for college coaches to discover them, but coaches are busy and don't always have the time to find them. Recruit Me allows you to build an online profile to share directly with college coaches and is designed to help you enter all of the information coaches want to see: your stats, your highlight videos, your academic information, your social links, and more. Plus, our team is here to make sure that your profile stands out with personalized suggestions. With over 25,000 coaches in our database, our premium plan gives you access to D1, D2, D3, and NAIA coaches across the country. And more importantly, gives them access to you. Enter your schedule of games and tournaments to let coaches know when and where you're playing so they can come out and watch you shine. Then communicate with interested coaches via our chat feature. When it comes to recruiting, don't make coaches research you. Do the work for them. Get started today at the Recruit Me app, on the web, and in the app stores.
At D1 Training, what we do is in our name. Our D1 athletes become D1 athletes. Whether it's Los Angeles Angels pitcher Ben Joyce, high school soccer national MVP Brindley Murphy, or first-round NFL draft pick Cole Strange, we help all athletes reach their full potential. Five-star training system comes straight from D1 strength and conditioning programs, and D1 has trained over 2,000 professional athletes. Many of them started as young as 7 years old. Check out D1Training.com to learn more about their facilities in Hardin Valley and Sevierville, and coming very soon to Maryville and the Tri-Cities.
How are things? Are you just out of school now?
Yes. Yesterday was our last day of school.
Okay. It seems like a long Christmas break for you this year.
Yeah, we do. It ends a little shorter though. It ends January 2nd, actually. So we go to school a little earlier.
Got it. Do you go to school on the 2nd or the 3rd?
We go to school on the 3rd, thankfully.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Joe McCord, thank you for joining me on the show, buddy. Glad to have you. I actually reached out to Eli Owens last night. I was
really?
like, hey, Joe's coming on. You got to give me some of the dirty.
Oh yeah.
He spilled the
No,
beans. He told me everything.
really?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but he is a great guy. Would be a good guy to bring on the podcast.
Yeah, no, he was on maybe last summer or so. So yeah, he was great. He works out here with us at D1 Hardin Valley
Okay.
quite a bit, even during the season. So that's great. What about this past, what is this year? Did you get 4 state championships?
No, I actually moved to Alcoa my sophomore year. That was my first
Okay.
year at Alcoa. So I only have 3, but I'm happy with that.
Where'd you come from?
I moved from Bearden High School after my freshman year.
Gotcha. So was 3 though? Was it still, are you still able to like get some satisfaction out of it? Is it, or is it just old hat?
It is really satisfying. I mean, for us at this point, it's just continuing the tradition, which I mean, just kind of putting on for the Alcoa community and representing by winning a state championship every year really does mean something. It never really gets old, but I'd say my first championship was definitely my favorite.
Yeah. Uh, that's great. Do you support like other school sports at Alcoa?
Mhm.
Like, do you go to
Oh,
basketball games and
absolutely.
stuff?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think our school's issue with sports is we don't have big student sections, and especially the basketball guys, they always want a student section, so they kind of complain. So it's always fun to put on for those guys and you know, help support them.
Yeah. Actually, so this is going to be released on Tuesday night, the day of the Alcoa Maryville game. So actually D1 Blunt, because we're going to open that soon. Actually, we're going to be at that game, hanging out and
Oh,
meeting folks. So yeah, we'll be at the Maryville game Tuesday night.
okay. Yeah, make sure to see you there.
Yeah, yeah. I was at a game up at Science Hill last week, and we were able to give out a whole lot of. We've got a big partnership with Prime Hydration,
Hmm.
so we can like give out those packets to everybody. It's
Oh, that's cool.
fun. Yeah, it's funny how that's just like brings brings all the folks over. Um, those young folks like the Prime
No,
for
it is
sure.
a good drink. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, no offense, but it is very good.
Yeah, yeah. What is your favorite? What do you go with?
I like Gatorade. Gatorade is definitely
Okay.
my favorite.
Yeah, my kids are into the Prime for sure. The one that like tastes just like a bomb pop. They they like that one for sure. Um, what about your recruiting journey? So you ended up at Yale. How did that happen?
Well, it's a funny story, and it's kind of a story of luck and fate, which I like to call it. I actually went to a Vanderbilt camp, and I happened, and I performed well, and I happened to meet some representatives from Yale who were at the Vanderbilt camp, and they talked to me for a little bit. And Yale's head coach, Coach Reno, he shot me a call, I think a week after camp, told me to come up to their camp, and so we went up to Connecticut. I camped up there and they offered me, and it's kind of all she wrote from there. I committed. It was really just after touring it kind of became my dream school, and so I'm glad that I get to go there.
When you got that call from Yale, was that a little surprising? Like, did you just go like, "Whoa, this is Yale. This isn't something I'd considered before." Did it kind of blow your hair back for a second?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is Coach Reno called me, and that day my dad, he had been giving me a hard time for being on my phone too much, and so I kind of set my phone aside, and it just so happened that Coach Reno called me that day, so I missed the call, and I had to wait like a day or two later for him to call me back. And so it was surprising, but I just wanted him to call me again so I could just start the connection.
Yeah. Were you able to tell dad, like, see, this is why I need my phone all the time?
Oh no, I tell him that now. And now I'd like to say he's starting to come around, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, going to a place like Yale, though, I would imagine you've got some pretty lofty, like, life goals beyond football, even.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, I mean I'd like to be a business owner someday, but more so I really think it's gonna help me find out what my true calling in life is and what I really want to do. And that's what's really important to me because I'm gonna have a great chance to meet a lot of successful people, successful alumni who really know what they're talking about and will give me a good in-depth answer to what I want to do.
Now, you've obviously had great experience with a passionate rivalry with Maryville and Alcoa. So you're about to step into another one that's pretty well known as well.
Hmm. Yeah, no, Harvard. I don't even know why I'm saying the name. Because on the board, it's just TFN, Team from North. So no, I'm not the biggest fan of them now.
Yeah, they're not doing great in the news right now. I don't know if you've been following, but the president of Harvard is when she ends up on an SNL skit, you know that it's not going great.
Yeah, no, and I think that's why people should go to a place like Yale where our president doesn't end up on an SNL skit.
Right. Um, I definitely would have gone to Yale, but I don't think they accept 21 ACT scores. So, was that part difficult? Did you have to like did the coach say we really want you, but you've got to hit a certain, mark? Was there still a super high academic requirement even for a football player?
Well, Yale is test optional, so you don't need a test score. And my grades were already high enough. And like I'm at our school, I'm the head of our environmental club, which didn't hurt. And then the only thing I really had to change was my senior year schedule because I wanted my senior year to be easy. But they made me take a few extra classes. Like I actually took 5 classes this semester instead of 4. So I kind of piled on the workload for a little bit there. But all's well that ends well.
How do you find the time in a day to get an extra class in?
Well, I took 1 class online. And for me, it's always been when I get home from practice, if I bring my school bag inside, it's really easy. I'll just sit down and do my homework, no problem. I mean, it sounds kind of nerdy, but I do sometimes enjoy doing homework. And so, but if I leave my backpack in my car, like if I'm tired or something or hungry, want to get inside really quickly, then that's when I end up struggling. But for me, it's just the consistency of starting and bringing my backpack inside every day. And when I do that, and once I get started, it's easy from there.
Nice. So what about like sports heroes? Because you had a great year at Alcoa, a very driven football player. Do you have sports heroes or even just general life um, mentors?
Well, I did look at this question, and this was the one question that I really didn't have an answer to. But I'd say as far as heroes for me, it's really just this year. It's made me realize that the guys on the team really kind of have become my heroes. Um, and by that I mean like guys like Brennan Dugan or Eli Owens, Brandon Witten, or just guys that are out there making plays for you really become my heroes. Like in the state championship game, Micah Jones, a freshman safety, first defensive drive of the game, pick six. And for me, just being a senior and wanting to come out on top, that him making that play really means something to me, and that really kind of becomes heroic to me in a way.
Nice. So you play both ways this year. Do you think you're going to be a linebacker, a tight end? What do they see you at Yale?
Well, I'll be a linebacker at Yale. I'll be playing inside linebacker. Kind of, I'm kind of done with the offensive side of the ball. It's definitely not my calling.
Oh, got it. That's cool that you can notice that. Now, what about like off-season training when you're not on a football field? What do you do for like speed and agility, that kind of stuff?
Well, right now I've taken a step back just to make sure my body's all good. And so my off-season plans kind of been, starting in the winter right now, just to really build a base to allow me to be healthy and safe and really start strong. And then in January, Yale's their strength coach is going to send like kind of a workout plan. And for me, just off-season training wise, has always been really just focused on getting out on the field and focusing on my explosion. Um, just being able to move better because I don't really want to be a weightlifter. I want to be a football player.
Well, that's one of the things. Talk about your explosion and even football specific stuff, and especially you're a linebacker. So I don't know if you remember the name Kevin Simon. He was an outstanding linebacker at Tennessee, right around like 2000, maybe
Mm-hmm.
2004 or so, kind of in that era, Eric Ainge days. Um, and he is actually going to be our head strength and
Oh
conditioning
wow.
coach at D1
Mm-hmm.
Blunt. So that'll be pretty cool. So we can certainly set up something. If you could talk with a coach or even identify what it is you need to specifically work on before you get onto campus, Kevin can dial up a program and work out with you there at D1. So we're looking forward to having you out over there. What about any off season or off the field hobbies? Eli mentioned you're a big pop music fan.
Yeah, I do like pop music. Um, but for me, hobbies, I like to be outside. My mom and I go hiking. Right now it's a little too cold to do that. She's not a fan of the cold, but we like to hike and I like to be outside. Um, but I mean, just hobbies, really. I mean, I like working out and just learning. I've started to read a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Do you have a favorite book?
honestly, I mean, it's for me. I mean, it's honestly I've started reading the Bible. Like I've actually read a lot of it, and I'd say that that would be my favorite book, just because before I ever read it, I wouldn't have imagined that it actually had the contents that it had. I don't know what I thought was actually in there, but just by reading it, I think it's really helped me a lot and made me a better person. In that I'm able to kind of reflect on myself instead of others. So I'd say the Bible's probably my favorite book.
Yeah. And you mentioned hiking. That's also a great way to kind of reflect and kind of be with nature. Do you have a favorite
Mhm.
spot around here in East Tennessee?
Yeah, IAM's Nature Center, like the quarry.
Yeah.
We go up there a lot and just kind of, and honestly, we just sometimes we've taken our dogs and just kind of get lost in there and then just find our way back. It's nice to just kind of get away for a little bit.
Hmm. You know that quarry you mentioned in the summertime, I'll take my kids and we'll rent like kayaks or a canoe
We've
just to
done
get out on
that.
the water. That's
It's
that's
fun.
pretty cool. Um, but I love going on some hikes too. We'll go up to Cades Cove, and we kind of put together a game where we will determine whether it's a successful trip or not at Cades Cove based on how many animals we see.
Oh, that is cool. That's cool. That the hard part for us seeing animals is our dogs just anytime they smell an animal, they'll go chase them away.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've got a point system for like a bear is 10 points, a deer is 3 points or whatever it might be.
Have you ever seen a bear?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, several times.
Oh wow, that's I don't think I'd want to see a bear.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are some dummies that get out of their car, but you stay in your car. But
Hmm.
I've seen them while we were walking actually. And you just kind of stay still. And they're black bears, so they're not going to be super aggressive, but especially if they've got cubs, you just make sure you are not threatening in any way. But it really is beautiful and cool to see. Um, you mentioned you love to work out. Do you have a favorite like workout exercise in the weight room?
For me, the one I enjoy the most is bench press. I don't know if it's the most applicable or whatever, just as far as sports specific training goes. But for me, it's just kind of fun to get on under a bar, maybe with a friend, just sit there. I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just kind of like a classic dude workout, right? You just want
Hmm.
to get under there. And
Yeah,
did you
just
ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
no, I've never seen that.
Okay. Well, the one of the main guys on the show, he does this whole thing where he just thought it was funny, where he gained like 50 pounds one season and then he got super cut for the next season, or maybe it was vice versa. But
Huh.
it was actually kind of funny when you watch. There's no explanation, just he's fat one year and he's super ripped the next. Um,
Hmm.
but he said that he like had one of the trainers that works with Hollywood stars come give him his routine, and he said that one of the greatest heartbreaks of his life was when bench was not on his list because he's like,
That's
I just
funny.
loved doing the bench. I just really wanted to do it. And
Hmm.
I couldn't believe this guy didn't have me uh, doing any bench press. He was super sad, but I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
So
I
what?
mean, oh well, I mean, bench press. Yeah, I just think it's kind of a staple. Like everyone knows how to do it. It's pretty simple. Just kind of go in there, and it's a good way to start your workout.
Mhm. And of course, there's bragging rights with
Yeah,
bench too.
yeah. How much you bench, bro? Kind of thing.
Yeah. Um, so one last question. I ask everyone this. Share with me a great, like unforgettable sports memory for you. And it could be either as a player or as an athlete. I'm sorry, a player or
Well,
a spectator.
well, for me, it's I had a turning point. I think as far as my football career, and it's looking back on this sports memory, it's not a good thing or a fun thing, but it's really a meaningful thing to me because I remember sophomore year we were playing West, and we didn't realize West was as good of a team as they were, and we were committing a lot of penalties, myself included, and I came off the field, and Coach Rankin, back when he was at Alcoa, he chewed me out for a little while. The TV camera actually like just zoomed into my face, and I was scared of that man. Um, great guy, and I really thank him for this moment because he told me, he's like, is this how you care about your team? Are you gonna be this selfish? Are you bigger than the team? He spoke with me after that, and kind of made me think of what kind of man I wanted to be and what kind of player I wanted to be. And ever since then, it's just switched my mindset and made me want to be a more for the team guy instead of myself. Instead of me wanting to make the play, I just want the other team to lose 5 yards and just to do my job, get in there, no penalties, and win.
Something I think that is a story that if you ever get the chance to share with him, I think that would be something that would mean a lot to him. Just hearing how he,
Mm-hmm.
in a moment, was able to fully change your mindset.
Mm-hmm. I think he changed my trajectory, and I'd love to see him again. I'd love for him to come back to Alcoa, but I mean, I'll be forever grateful for what he's done for me.
All right, dude. Thank you so much for your time. I'll put this together and have it out early next week. And yeah, man, I'll tag you and all that good stuff.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
You too.